Welcome to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast.
Nobody's walking out on this fun old-fashioned family Christmas. No, we're all in this together.
Central Maine's best comics podcast, by default.
Fragile. It must be Italian.
Here are your hosts, Zach and Jared.
I didn't know you had elves working here.
Christmas episode.
Ho, ho, ho. No?
No, what was that?
I don't know.
What accent was that?
That was just like a sad old man.
It's not what sad old men sound like.
Oh. But I'm not sad. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. It was a great weekend.
It's like you really brought down the whole show with your how.
Well, maybe it was trying to be like the guy in A Christmas Story.
I thought
Ho, ho, ho.
That was a real crap musical.
Oh, I couldn't. Didn't work for me.
My favorite part is when Hugh Jackman showed up to promote a movie.
You know what my favorite part was? When I turned the TV off.
It was when you were watching football?
Yes. Oh my God, what a game. What a great weekend. Star Wars, the Patriots game. Had lots of ham this weekend. It was a good weekend. Solid weekend.
You did go ham.
I did go ham.
It's the only ham-related joke I have, I suppose.
I drove by the store today.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize you were having a 25% off sale.
Well, neither did I until this morning.
Oh, okay. How long is that going?
Christmas Eve.
Ooh, like the 25 days of Christmas, 25% off?
Sure. But it's more like 5 days of 25% off.
That's like 125% off.
No, I'm not giving people money.
Oh, that's a good point.
They can give me the money.
Ah, I see how that works.
Yeah, last minute shopping. I think the show needs to take a hard stand. Let's just say f*** Amazon. Shop local.
Oh, wow. Okay. Zach speaks for himself. I've done quite a bit of e-shopping this year, so...
I'm against it. Morally, financially,
are you
psychologically, I guess.
Are you only against it morally because you own a small business?
Look, I like to see local businesses flourish whenever possible.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy that. But for, I have family across the country, it's easier to Amazon it to them.
Or you could ship it. Support a business that you like, ship it out.
Or I get free shipping with Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I'm going to say f*** them.
Okay, there it is.
Taking a stand.
I see that.
I did most of my Christmas shopping on Amazon.
See? Exactly. You, sir, are a hypocrite.
That's not true.
You, sir, are a hypocrite.
I actually don't know. I'd have to think about it.
You just told Amazon to go pound sand, but you're like, oh, but I did all my holiday shopping on Amazon.
Yeah.
Just saying. Can't have it both ways.
In the Christmas spirit, let's do the news.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
It's time for the news.
There's nothing really Christmassy about this news.
Is there not, you should break the news up into, naughty list and nice list today. Can you do that, or is that possible? Who's getting cold and who's not?
Not really. There's only really one bad story.
Okay, let's get the naughty list out of the way.
Jim Starlin. You may not know the name, but you definitely know the work that he's done. He is the creator of Thanos, and he's done most of the cosmic... I'm not going to say most of. He has been one of the architects of the cosmic Marvel universe.
Okay.
And, basically anything if it has... not everything, but almost everything if it has the word infinity attached to it, or Thanos, it's his doing. Yes, there are exceptions. Don't tweet at me.
Tweet at him.
He is writing his final Thanos trilogy. They're going to be coming out as OGNs, or original graphic novels, and then he is stepping away from the character forever.
Wow.
Which sounds like, he's told his story, but it's more like Thanos is about to become a cultural phenomenon, and...
He doesn't want to sell out to the man?
No, it's more that the man doesn't want to pay him for his ideas, and they want to do what they want to do.
Oh, the man. Getting him down.
Let's be clear about the man here. I can't say it's specific man. It is not Marvel Entertainment, so not like the movie people. The movie people have been very generous and kind to him. They brought him out to set not all that long ago. We're like, look at what we're doing, the things that you birthed. But basically is saying Marvel Comics editorial, they want to put the character in a different direction. It goes, and now there's an ongoing Thanos story, and I've lobbied hard and multiple times to be the guy to do it. And they've given it to 2 different writers, and they don't really care for my vision anymore. So I'm doing the end of this, and then I'm done.
So he's his baby's kind of been taken away from him.
Yeah.
On a comic book level.
Yeah, and he says that, the movie people have been super nice, but he's not super pleased with the Marvel editorial at this moment.
So the movie people, good. The paper people, not so much.
Yeah, for Starlin anyway, which is too bad. Because, he's been doing work for Marvel for, 30 plus years.
Wow.
Yeah. So, that was kind of a shame to see. And, he wasn't very coy about his displeasure, even though the first book isn't even out yet.
He's really straightforward about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only kind of bad news.
Oh, so that's nice, though. That's a nice change. Has some good news for once.
So last week, I projected that Star Wars was going to make $300 million worldwide.
It broke that, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. Do you want to take a stab?
$450.
That's exactly what it made. I feel like you looked at...
I did not. No, I did not cheat.
Did you look at the answer key?
I did not look at the answer key.
Yeah, 450 million worldwide opening weekend.
That's a big number.
Yeah, last week Justice League just sputtered over 600, so let's look at those comparatively.
Yeah, 1 weekend, 1 month.
Yeah.
By the way, it blew all the other movies out of the water at the box office by 75 to 80%.
Yeah, Force Awakens had a bigger opening worldwide, but this is still crazy good money.
I don't know why I held my sneezing, because you're just going to edit it out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's fine. It just caused you to have a hernia.
My head hurts a little bit right now. I'm not going to lie.
But yeah, that's crazy. So good for Star Wars.
So it's already recouped the money on the budget, because it was a $200 million film to make?
I think it was like 250.
I'll fact check the show. I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, either way, they within the opening weekend they made their money back, even if you take into account marketing. The Punisher. Marvel's The Punisher. It's been renewed for a second season on Netflix. It's fine news. It's good news. I liked the show.
Yeah, you were a fan of it. You didn't hate it. It was much better than Iron Fist, so we had that going for it.
I know. I'd much rather be punished than fisted.
You can't say that on the podcast.
It's not a curse, so I'm going to leave it.
$200 million budget. The box office right now worldwide is $494, by the way.
Wow. So updated news. Well, yeah, this was just opening weekend, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's past the weekend now.
But another $49 million since the weekend.
Yeah.
In 2 days.
Yeah. Especially the weekdays.
Mm.
We're still a ways away, but for Free Comic Book Day, the first weekend in May.
That is quite a ways. Mark your calendar now. It's a ways off.
Hey, it's the same weekend every year. First weekend of May. First Saturday in May, I should say.
That's like a half a year away.
Yeah, but if you're a shop, you have to order this stuff super early for whatever reason.
Well, it's free. They got to get all the material out.
It's not free for me.
Well, marketing, sometimes costs some money.
But for Free Comic Book Day, DC is going to be including a tease to a massive upcoming event. Don't know what it is. That was the news. Actually, there's a bunch of good stuff coming out this year for Free Comic Book Day, which is nice. If you go look at the list of what people have released, last year was kind of meh. There's a couple, but this year there's a lot of biggies coming.
You got to have a tease of a tease. That's what that is.
Yeah. Go check out the Free Comic Book Day stuff that's coming. Get excited about May.
Aunt May?
It's gonna be May.
It will be May. May Day.
More comic-y news. We've talked about it a little bit. The upcoming Infinity story that we know very little about. We just know it's going to involve some gems. Actually, they're not even calling them gems anymore. I noticed that.
Infinity Stones?
They've started calling them stones like the movie.
Yeah.
We're getting away from gems. I wrote down gems for my notes.
What a gem.
But the holder of each Infinity Stone has been revealed. I'm not going to say who's holding it just because, it'd be a long and boring story of me just listing things.
There's only 6 stones.
Yeah, but still. Wolverine, newly resurrected Wolverine. Not sure where he is right now. Find out next month in backup strips.
Oh, that's good.
He has one. Captain Marvel has one. Original promotional art showed Star-Lord with one, but that has been changed to Gamora. Loki has one. Magnus has one. He is an evil clone of Adam Warlock, so major cosmic-y stuff. And the Super Skrull.
Ooh, Skrull.
Super Skrull.
Skrull, sorry.
Super Skrull is interesting. They get to have, there's one main one, and there's been other ones as well. But basically their thing, not only do they get to do the shape-changing thing, they also have all of the powers of the Fantastic Four.
That's it. Like you say, fire, stretchiness.
Yeah, so if you wanted to punch someone with an invisible fist that's really stretchy and made of rock and on fire in the face, you could do that.
That would be a pretty devastating maneuver, I would feel.
Yeah, he's a pretty tough character. He's a tough cookie. Tough space cookie.
He doesn't crumble.
A spooky. A Wookiee.
No. We have to celebrate Life Day next week, don't we?
We're going to do it all for the Wookiee. Yeah, the Wookiee. Ooh, that reference felt gross. Doing a Limp Bizkit reference.
I don't know you, man. I don't know you anymore at all. That's disturbing. Your dog is sad because of it. It's okay, Kirby. We have a special studio guest, Kirby, today.
Yeah, all the animals are hanging out. Thanks, guys. You're distracting. And your collars are jangly.
Charlie decided that he wants in on the show, too.
Smallish news week because there's only one more bit of news.
Well, that leaves us a lot of time to talk about the main event.
Oh, we got a lot of time to talk about this news story, though.
Okay.
Because this is massive.
Okay.
It's been talked about, rumored, maybe on, maybe off, maybe $60 billion, but it wasn't. Disney has officially purchased Fox for $52 billion.
That's a lot of money.
All of the intellectual property that Fox owned is now Disney's.
How is this not an antitrust problem?
It will be going through Congress to get approval. So it's not a absolute definite, but it's a probable. The way that they separated it out, and we've talked about this before, is you can only kind of have like one of everything, essentially. You can't have multiple sporting networks. You can't have multiple news networks. I mean, I don't know why. I thought that Disney was buying everything fictional of Fox's.
Ooh.
Oh.
Hey-oo. There it is. There's the big zing.
It's a relatively small zing.
Mediocre zing.
Murdoch is buddy-buddy with Trump. Probably going to go through.
And Murdoch is going to make a ton of money on this.
$52 billion.
Yes.
So,
before taxes.
Yeah. And this includes a lot of things you might not even think about. Like, I didn't write down the list of properties, but it's insane because it's not just Fox. It's FX. It's Fox Searchlight. All these different companies and things that they've done with other people in the past, like they're getting some like Miramax stuff out of this. Like it's a massive catalog that they're getting. Bob Iger, Disney CEO, has extended his contract for 2 more years for his retirement to be in 2021 to oversee this deal. So we're literally talking about a 5-year transition period.
Oh yeah, it can't just happen overnight. It's not gonna flip a switch and wake up the next morning.
I've been trying to do a lot of research into it, and basically I can't find anything solid because I did want to try and come into this with some, legal precedent. Could not find anything reliable. I don't know what this means for existing contracts because, with a thing like this, contracts can be broken even if, you are, or maybe they can't be. I don't know. It's happened both ways. A deal like this has never really happened before. The closest, or the most recent one that we saw was when Disney bought Star Wars for a measly $4 billion.
Mm-hmm. That's already, the return on investment on that is huge.
But there was a bunch of video games that were in development. There was a TV show in development. That just all got axed overnight. I don't know what this means for the stuff on Fox. I don't know what it means for the Fox network, like if they're going to change names, because Disney already owns a few channels, obviously stuff like the Disney Channel. They also own ABC.
They also own ESPN.
Yeah, now they have a controlling interest in Hulu. Now they own 60% of Hulu by getting Fox's shares.
Maybe they convert Hulu into the over-the-top service they've been talking about.
They're definitely going to do... They were talking about like the diversity of Hulu and all that stuff and blah, blah, blah. Basically, you can get rid of Netflix after this. Like, everything you love in this world is going to be on the Disney streaming service.
Really is. But then you have to pay extra to get to certain streaming services if net neutrality falls through. But that's totally a different discussion.
But... yeah, and I'll cancel every other streaming service. I'll give Disney $30 a month just to have like everything in the world.
You pretty much get everything through them.
And now that, if they own all of these Fox properties, if they just dumped their catalog, forget what Netflix has to do with kind of like the rotation of stuff. If they just dumped their catalog, you couldn't watch everything once in your entire lifetime.
No.
Let alone whatever new original programming they're also going to be putting out. We'll see how this matches up with Hulu. Maybe Hulu gets dissolved. I don't know. Netflix certainly has a massive competitor now. Yes,
Netflix has kind of a problem.
I think one of the more interesting properties that Disney is getting now is before...
X-Men?
Well, that's the obvious stuff. The comic book stuff is exciting. That universe is definitely getting scrapped, which is probably for the best. But they are now going to own full rights to Star Wars Episode 4. It turns out that when the deal happened, that Fox still owned half of it.
Really?
So now they have everything in its entirety, which makes me think, potentially, maybe now we'll get a Blu-ray release of the unaltered trilogy.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, now that they have all those rights. This is also just a theory. I have absolutely nothing to back this up with. It's 100% hearsay.
I think you will find out that, yes, that is going to probably happen.
I've always had this theory ever since the deal happened, that part of the contract that Lucas signed was you cannot release the original trilogy. I like the new ones for either ever or until after my death or for X number of years.
So that might be a hang-up.
That's
the thing.
Again, just a theory, because he was always so against the idea of going back. He always wanted to move forward. He's like, oh no. What's the quote he has? He's like, movies are never finished, they're just abandoned.
Fair.
And he was so dead fast against re-releasing the original trilogy. They even did it they did it once on DVD. They did it once in 97 on VHS, and even that had some touch-ups.
Well, they even played the original trilogy unaltered in theaters at one point as well, if I remember correctly.
No, in 97, those
were the digital.
Those were the special editions, yeah. But then also in 97, it might have been 98. It was definitely for Christmas, I remember. There were two, there was a gold and a silver pack. One was the original trilogy, throwing that in air quotes because there were still some updates done to it, and then there was the special editions. But on DVD, they did it, I think it was in 2004. And Lucas just threw it on with the other DVDs. He's like, yeah, fine, you can have it. You can have it totally unaltered, which sounds great. except that also meant the aspect ratio. And I forget what the ratio was for, the 70s and 80s, but it basically didn't fit any TVs. So you almost were watching it like 33% smaller on your TV because that's the only ratio it could deal with.
Ooh.
So yeah, that was kind of like, oh yeah, you want it, you got it.
Yeah, sure.
But I didn't do win anything. So I don't know, we'll see. That's just a theory. But yes, of course, the thing that the internet was all excited about was Fantastic Four and X-Men coming back to Marvel.
Those are big.
Yeah, I mean, that is exciting. I'm kind of glad they weren't there originally, because we got to see these kind of C-list and B-list characters, and I feel like more risks were taken with stuff like Ant-Man and Iron Man and Thor and that kind of stuff. We got movies we might not have gotten otherwise.
I think you still will.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I'm glad they weren't there originally, because it's easy to fall back on your flagships. If you don't have the flagships, then you have to work with what you got. I have no idea what this means for movies that are in development. Like, James Cameron is working on like 4 billion Avatar movies simultaneously right now. What does that mean? Can we maybe get
3.9 billion avatars?
That movie's a moneymaker, so I don't know why they wouldn't follow through with that.
No, I don't see why not.
Stop getting alien movies now? That'd be nice.
Did you see the video of the suspected UFO from 2004 that was just released?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I don't believe it.
Oh, it was just something on the windshield of the fighter jet?
And there's been a lot of backlash about this. Is this deal a good thing? The weird one that Bob Iger came out, because people were like, well, now Deadpool's going to be neutered. He's like, we're fine doing R-rated movies. Think about a lot of the stuff that Disney owns. Like, Disney itself is a brand, and you know when you're going to watch like one of their quote-unquote Disney movies. You get the castle in the front, you get the theme, all that crap.
Yes.
Throw on a Marvel movie. Do you see that castle? You see a Tinkerbell
nope,
striking it with a fairy wand? Disney's a brand. They distribute plenty of stuff that unless you know they're owned by Disney, you wouldn't know.
Even before the Star Wars movie, they don't have the Disney castle.
Yeah.
It just says Lucasfilm.
Yeah. Which I think is just a pity nod because they don't need that up there.
It's good. Fair.
But Fox has been around since like 1935, I think. And it's generally considered like one of the big 6 studios. There's 5 big studios. And people are concerned that, there's going to be less creativity. Disney isn't going to be doing stuff with like all the things they bought under Fox Searchlight. Because that's that was a great label. You watched a Fox Searchlight movie, you knew what you were getting yourself into. Something low budget indie, you might not see it otherwise. And Disney doesn't really do that kind of stuff. Or they haven't until this point. And there's also, it's been pretty upfront that there are going to be a lot of redundancies in these companies. A lot of people are also going to lose their jobs.
Yes.
So there's stuff of maybe people won't be able to pitch as much stuff creatively. We might get less independent work. And how do you deal with that much intellectual property?
Mm-hmm.
Like, unless Disney grossly expands, who knows? This could be a good thing. This could be a bad thing. It's kind of impossible to tell. It's probably going to be a mix of both.
I think the thing that Disney has is name recognition. They have money and they have the ability to take risks. And
I mean, they can take risks. The problem is if you have this much of a market share, how do you possibly divide that up with what you own?
I mean, this is still the preliminary step. It has to pass. It has to get through everything. It has to get through all the legality of everything.
Like, this is going to be a 5-year rollout.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen immediately.
I'll put it in terms of comic book collecting.
Yes, please do.
Let's say you have 5 long boxes worth of stuff. You get a pretty decent chunk of stuff if you wanted to read it all. It would take a good chunk of time to get through, but you could still play with those 5 boxes. Now, let's say you're a massive collector. You have, I don't know, because I know people like this, 300 boxes, 300 long boxes, 70,000 odd books. What the hell are you going to do with those 70,000 odd books?
Take them down to Editor's Note Comics in Hollowell, Maine.
There's that.
Push them along.
And maybe that's something they could do. Maybe they can license things out. I don't know if they would, but this is kind of unprecedented, so who the hell knows?
Sometimes it'd be too much of a good thing, having too much stuff.
There's definitely positives that are going to come out of it. Like, obviously, the comics. I'm excited that Fantastic Four and X-Men are back. I'm excited that now, hey, we can have a Fantastic Four book again. There's that side of it, too.
Maybe the one thing, maybe I'll try and...
Oh, they also own 30% of Boom Studios. No, I forgot to mention that. That's another comic publisher. They're small.
I want to quantify it a little in a way. I don't know how familiar you are with, like, the wrestling world.
Non-existent.
Okay. So, you know who Vince McMahon is?
I know the name.
Okay, he's the owner of WWE.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So, in the 90s, they were in what were called the Monday Night Wars with WCW. Eventually, they won out over time. And then they were really the only ones left. But what Vince also started doing as he was growing his WWE empire is he was buying up all the archival footage from all the wrestling promotions across the country, like the AWA, Tennessee Mid-South.
I haven't even heard of these things. I believe that they're real. You could just make up another one.
What? ECW, they bought all of those intellectual properties, and now what they've done is they've been able to turn it around and put it into a streaming service So you can have a lot of those things on demand. They bought the whole WCW catalog. So I can see this as maybe an opportunity for Disney, like you said, to take the entire catalog and provide it in a way with their over-the-top streaming service and say, if you join Disney Online or Disney Streaming or whatever you want to call it for X number of dollars a month, you're going to have access to hundreds of thousands of...
I mean, I'm sure they just wouldn't dump everything. If we even look at Disney's regular business model, like where they have like things that have come out of the vault, I'm sure they can do that streaming as well. Like, oh, like you're thinking about canceling your subscription? Well, look out, you're going to miss, I don't know, Lion King 1.5, Simba's Revenge. I don't think that's what it was called.
No, it wasn't Simba's Revenge.
But yeah, I guess that's it. Who knows? This news is so new, and there's so little information out there. There's a lot of speculation, a lot of hearsay, a lot of people worried, a lot of people happy. It's too new. But there's going to be a lot of news coming forward, I'm sure. But that's a massive deal. $52 billion.
That is like an economy of some countries.
I'd sell out my company to Disney for $150 and a ham sandwich.
No, you wouldn't.
I don't know. Thinking about it.
Well, $150 and a ham sandwich, and they like kept the store open and employed you to run it.
Well, that'd be handy.
There you go. See, you'd have a consistent income.
I think you just burped into my mouth a little. I hated it.
Well, that's what you get for A, being so close to me, and B, having an open mouth in your mind.
Damn mouth breathers.
Yeah, seriously. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Anyway, carry on. Continue.
I think that's about it. That's really it for the news. So from there...
Da, 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 da.
I mean, off key, but yeah, we're gonna.
I brought it down an octave because I have a little nasally thing going on.
Yeah, I'm sure that's why you couldn't hit the octave, the nasally thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Review.
Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret. I'm always angry.
It's time for an Editor's Note podcast review.
As we do with every movie review, we're going to start with non-spoilers, get into spoilers. Non-spoilers is going to be pretty quick, though, because basically everything I want to talk about is a spoiler. All right, let's start low. Let's start with the expectation that this movie had and how you came out of it feeling.
I thought that this, in the moment when I got done watching the movie, I'm like, oh my God, this might be 1A, like right behind Empire or on par with it. And a few days out, I still feel like it's up. It's in the top 3.
Yeah, for my opinion, it's kind of grown on it.
The more I think about it, the more I like it because it changed the rules.
Which is nice. I mean, we got, in the trailer, Luke's like, it's not going to go the way you expect. And usually you're like, yeah, sure.
We'll talk about the spoilers. There was a ton of fourth wall breaking in this movie. A ton of it.
A little bit, yeah. I don't know if I go with a ton, but yeah, there was
quite a bit of fourth wall breaking. Like, I want to say one right now because it doesn't ruin anything.
No spoilers.
Okay. Just remind me about the Red Planet.
Sure.
Whatever it was called.
Crate.
Remind me about Crate when we get the spoilers.
For me going into this, I walked away. I had a lot of fun watching the movie. And walking away, I had to think about it a lot because there's just so much to unpack that happens in here. But at the same time, there's so much. But narratively, it feels a little light. For me, this movie is built on, that's an awesome moment, that's an awesome moment, that's an awesome moment. Oh my God, I've never seen that before. That's an awesome moment, that's an awesome moment. And it was more built around just cool moments than it was around being super cohesive and tight. Like, as with many ensemble movies, everyone splits apart, has their own story. Some of them hold together a lot better than others. One of them I'm going to call objectively bad.
I think that side story kind of takes it, maybe dilutes it a little bit for me.
Which is too bad, because what's funny is I think the story's done, but I really liked all the characters that were involved in it.
I thought that they missed an opportunity with that side story.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. But I mean, that was it for me, is I walked away from it at the end just being like, there's a lot of great moments in there, but it really only moved a couple of pieces forward.
But I'd say a significant piece.
Oh, definitely. Oh, no question, some big things happen, but as a whole...
You and I had this argument the other day over dinner, is that, like, comparing it to Empire, like...
It's not Empire.
It's not. But, like...
Which is nice. Isn't that nice?
It is nice.
We got to see something fresh and something that you literally weren't expecting.
There were some beats from Empire in it.
There's a lot of beats from Jedi.
They took and moved in different directions. But, like, you and I were talking about, you were saying, like, it didn't really move anything forward. It didn't accomplish anything. I mean, it did, but it didn't. And, like, I said, well, no, they've got plenty of stuff to have to finish in the next movie. You're like, yeah, but after Empire, it's like, oh, we got to go get Han. Who knows what's going, Han's with the bounty hunter. Luke's going back to Dagobah.
Yeah, and for the way that I've described it, and we can...
Luke's dad's an asshole.
Yeah. No, we know who he is now. For the Star Wars movies that I feel kind of the most satisfied with, I would say, is they have that kind of hook at the end that makes me want to come back. Like, the end of Empire is insane. Even, like, end of Rogue One. When I finished Rogue One, the first thing I did when I got home is I watched New Hope. The end of Force Awakens, you want to know what's happening with Luke. You feel like something big has been accomplished with blowing up Starkiller Base. But with this one, the movie ends, I'm like, so I guess we're just going to keep on to Star Wars and more Star Wars to come for the rest of time.
Yes, but I think this is setting the stage to end the saga.
This movie could even be the end itself. Like, if they just, like, called it a day when that's the last one, I could go, okay.
No, I couldn't.
Oh, I definitely could.
No.
That's what's nice about this movie, though. It feels like a complete movie. It's not a setup movie.
No, it's not. But it's not a standalone. You need some prior knowledge.
No.
You can't just come into this movie and be like, oh, I understand what's happening here.
No, good luck. They don't explain anything.
Listen, if you've never seen Star Wars, don't start with this one.
Yeah, good luck. I mean, I don't know. I guess they kind of did that with New Hope. They just started in the middle of the story, I guess. You could try.
That's different, though.
Yeah, I know.
That's different, because it also
that
world
was
builds.
Intended. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
Always start with the New Hope. If you've never seen Star Wars, start with the New Hope. Do 4, 5, 6, then do 1, 2, 3.
I thought this movie was a little too jokey. Like, they had a pretty high percentage of just, like, quippy jokes. And some of them land and some of them don't.
Yeah.
It just felt like a higher percentage than most Star Wars movies. Some Star Wars movies, like, there's definitely jokes. But this just felt like they were hitting them out as fast as they could.
I think, again, that's maybe to hit a little bit of a younger crowd appeal. Because I don't necessarily think this was a Star Wars movie for younger kids either.
No. This is a movie all about failure, and I kind of love that. That it's okay to fail.
Yes.
And it's also... forget it. I'm not going to finish that sentence.
Okay.
Because I also don't like... I know I say too much. Like, we'll get to that in spoilers. And backlash. This movie has had a pretty vocal backlash to it. A lot of people love it. But I mean, people come into the store like, I hated that movie. And it's been like...
It has a pretty low user rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, there's even like... I think it's on like change.org. There's a petition being passed around to be like for Disney to officially remove this movie from Star Wars canon. Shut up, idiots. Side note.
I can't really talk too much about my feelings on that without getting into any spoiler stuff. Because the problem people have is with Force Awakens, we got nostalgia. We got something we knew. It was familiar. It was Star Wars to us. We loved it. This was, oh, you think you know the rules to Star Wars? Well, guess what? You don't. And I love that it changes the rules. And it's not like it changes like the base rules. Like a lot of the base tenets of Star Wars are still the same. But it's also like, yeah, we're not going to do what you expect.
We're not going to rehash. There was a tweet that I saw online, and I wish I could give credit to the guy who did it. They were like, I'd love to see the Venn diagram of people who thought Force Awakens didn't take enough chances and hated Last Jedi.
Yes.
Like, what is that over section?
Very large in the middle.
Apparently. Yeah, I just thought it was kind of interesting, because I feel like this is the fastest backlash we've ever seen on a Star Wars movie. Like, even when Phantom Menace happened, like, people were like lying to themselves, and it was just, there was so much hype around it, like, what a great time. And then that, took like maybe a year for people to be like, you know what? Kind of stupid. Even Force Awakens, that took a little bit less than a year. Rogue One, it's been some backlash, so that took a bit of time. This was like opening weekend, like, wah!
Because it was different than what we're used to. And that was what made it really good. But Rogue One, you going into Rogue One, you knew it was going to be different. You knew what you were getting into. You knew it wasn't a Skywalker story.
And you knew that it ended with them getting the Death Star plans and all that.
Yeah, you knew how it was going to end. And you saw one lightsaber in the whole movie.
Oh, God, did you? It's the best minute of that movie.
It was awesome. But with this, you kind of go in knowing like, oh, well, it's gonna follow the traditional story arc of Star Wars. And it says, yeah, about that, no.
Across the board, we see some of the best stuff we've ever seen. I think we see the best thing in space we've ever seen. I think we see the best hand-to-hand stuff we've ever seen. Mark Hamill is at his best. All the performances are good. One of my bigger complaints about Force Awakens is a lot of the performances are kind of or there's some lines that I'm like, boy, we could have used another take on that. Like, there's some silly reads in that movie. Carrie Fisher wasn't great in that movie compared to this one where she is great.
Yeah.
Just across the board, I thought the performances in this movie were really strong.
I thought Mark Hamill was fantastic.
He
owned it.
Oh, yeah, he stole that movie. He has some lines that he delivers where you're just like, damn it, that's good.
For a guy that was rumored to hate the direction they took Luke Skywalker, and
I think he seems fine with it.
He owned it.
Oh, that's great. So I guess on our patented rating system, go see this movie like the other I guess, you've seen it already.
This movie deserves to be seen on a big screen with big sound in a dark theater.
Speaking of which, there is a moment, and I wish I'd taken a photo of it. Outside the theater, there was a little paper sign that said, do not complain to management. About an hour 42 into the movie, there's going to be about 60 seconds of silence. There is nothing wrong with our speakers. This is a dramatic choice made by the filmmakers.
That's awesome.
Of course. Idiots. Who is actively complaining about that? And I saw this opening weekend.
You answered your own question. Idiots.
Opening weekend. I saw it, what? Friday? It had been out for 24 hours? And they had to put up a disclaimer?
There's 60 seconds in the middle of the movie in the dead of space where there's no sound. I'm really pissed off.
Man, it was silent when that happened. You could have heard a pin drop when I saw it. Everyone was dead silent. Everyone stopped breathing, kind of silent.
Yeah, the theater I was in went dead quiet for that, too.
Yeah. I guess that'll be it for spoilers. Go watch the damn movie. It's really friggin' good.
Okay. So right. Spoilers.
Hang on. We gotta leave time for the little spoiler theme. Away you go.
Look out! There's spoilers ahead!
Alright, fall into spoilers. You ready for this?
Oh, God.
Akbar's dead! They killed Akbar!
Yes, unceremoniously. He got sucked into the void of space.
Well, there's been the guy who's done the puppeteering, there's the voice guy. The voice guy's dead, so they're like, screw it, get rid of Akbar.
It's a trap! No, he's dead.
Supposedly I didn't hear it, but supposedly he says that. I saw that online. I don't know if that's true or not. I can't back it up.
Yeah, and he doesn't live too long into the movie either.
No, he just gets offed. Akbar!
It happens fast.
We knew you from one line, really. The people attached to you, weird Mon Calamari.
No, you know what? He had a good run.
I guess he was an admiral for a really long time. He's career military.
Yeah, he was. Lifelong. Wow. So where to start with the spoilers? I love the opening space fight. That was great. That was different view. The Dreadnought, that was kind of a cool ship.
So now both of the new saga movies have started with Poe making jokes. Is that our new thing? Is episode 9 going to open with Poe making a joke?
Yeah.
That got a little too silly. It was kind of funny, that he's talking to, what's his name?
Hux, yeah.
And he's pretending that he can't get the connection. So he's like, what's that? What? Your mother's a whore? I'm like, okay, we've probably gone a little too far now.
That was funny.
Maybe cut down 10 seconds of this.
Yeah, initially, when that was happening, I was like, oh, that was cute, initially, but then, the longer it dragged on, that was one of my, moments, is this really Star Wars?
And then all the stuff with the bombers was really cool. We'd never seen that.
Oh, that was awesome.
Before.
The bombing ships.
That one girl dies who had 2 lines in Force Awakens. She was a fighter pilot.
Yes.
I guess I know her best from being Colleen Wing from Iron Fist and the Defenders. She had a name. I think it was Paige, but in my head I just kept on calling her Colleen.
You got a great ass, Colleen.
Wrong movie.
Sorry.
It's a hard ticket to Hawaii.
Oh.
It's a very different movie.
It's an extremely different movie. I did like that, Leia called, Poe on that whole stunt, and that we kind of see, I think for the first time, really the cost of the Star Warsing, the human life.
Yeah, it's also interesting that so many of these new characters, and I really have grown to have a strong dislike of people using the term Mary Sue. This new cast is incredibly flawed, and I like that. Some of them are a little more upfront, but we have Poe, who he isn't a natural born leader, even though he should be in a role that makes him step up to that plate. But he has to accept that there are people who are smarter than him. He has one specific skill, and that doesn't necessarily translate into everything else. He has to deal with his own hubris. We have...
But the other thing about Poe, too, is, in the history of Star Wars, there's always, the ace pilot who always saves the day, and he's screwed up.
Yeah, and even Han became a general. He got demoted. It went the other way.
Yeah.
We have Finn actually getting a reason to fight, and not just, I don't want to kill for you.
Yes.
To the point, I thought he was going to die for a minute.
They had me sold on that.
I thought they were going to pull that trigger.
He had me 100% sold on that.
And even, Rey, which, I don't know, I guess, screw it. We'll try and make this as organic as possible. But Rey learning that her parents are nobodies, and that she knew that all along, and that she isn't special. I love that. I love that she's this character who is just, she's built her whole life around the idea that I'm someone special, something big is going to happen to me. And the second that she learns about the Force, she's like, I must be one of these special people. And that you learn that, no, actually, your heritage isn't important. You can be anything you want. Everyone we've had in these movies so far has been some kind of legal figure, royalty, or born into it. And that you can have your main character learn, you know what? it doesn't matter where you come from. You can be special on your own. But she learns that she's not. She just breaks down. She loses her pride, her totally undeserved pride.
Do you think that he's lying about that? Do you think Kylo Ren is lying when he's... Which, by the way, that's such a great... to me, that was one of those fourth wall moments. Like, you're nobody. You really, like... Because everyone's like, who is right, who is right? And Kylo Ren pretty much shows the audience, she's nobody. I don't... I
love that this movie, like... Because even me, too. Like, I did, like, all those trailer breakdowns and theorizing. This movie just basically said, none of that matters.
No.
It's fine. Just enjoy it.
Oh, my fourth wall moment I was talking about earlier that I thought was funny is we're all, like, trying to theorize what the red stuff is.
Salt.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's salt. That was, like, such a great way to...
And when he says that, if you look right beyond him...
It's the director from Rogue
Gareth
One.
Edwards, yeah.
I picked up on my Easter eggs. Did you know that they planted an Easter egg for this in Rogue One?
No.
They did. So when Jyn Erso is looking through the Empire's databanks, she says hyperspace tracking is one of the things that she sees the Empire is working on. Yep.
Interesting. Did you read that on the internet?
I did read that on the internet. I'm not going to lie about that. But that was cool that they had, like, planted that seed. Like, it's like, oh, here's a convenient, Deus Ex Machina. Oh, the First Order's figured it out just to give us a plot point. No, they've been working on that for 60 years.
Yeah, I was reading a thing with Ryan Johnson. He's like, at this point in time, what Kylo Ren says is true. If JJ changed it in the next movie, that's kind of on him. But in this moment of time, what he says is the truth. He could also be lying.
Yeah.
But I like that idea. I didn't realize how much I liked that idea until I started thinking about it.
Well, that idea was given further credence by the ending of the movie, I thought.
Yeah, totally. That was interesting. The last shot of the movie, we see that kid, little slave kid, who uses the Force to grab a broom and do something really mundane, which is funny.
Well, he stands and look at the stars, but he also had that ring that had the symbol of the... Resistance.
I thought that was an interesting way to go out because we've never seen an ending shot like that in Star Wars. Never on a unnamed. The character had maybe 1 or 2 lines in the whole movie.
Yeah.
We end on the idea of the Resistance building from the youth and grassroots and all that kind of stuff. And I thought that was an interesting way to go out on. It was really surprised me because when we cut to that scene, I was ready to go like da 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 da, like when they close on the group shot of everyone, and then there's another scene. I was like, "What is this?"
But see, that's why I think it leads credence to the fact that, I think that Rey obviously has a significant role, but I think that she has some sort of connection outside of the Force with those kids on the casino planet, or it just shows that
anyone, and it could be
the
anyone.
Force, which would fall in line with Luke saying, that the Force doesn't belong to just the Jedi. I
love that. How basically he's like, you know what? The prequels are a bunch of crap. Don't worry about it.
But what I like about Luke Skywalker's stuff is we look and explore the Force in a way that we've never, ever looked at it before. And the whole movie, we see the Force being used in ways that we haven't seen it. I loved the dialogue between Rey and Kylo Ren through the Force. Like they're having Force vision of each other from across the galaxy.
Yeah, and I love the whole thing. See how well they set up the ending where he's like, I can't see the surroundings around you. I can only see you. That comes back. Back, baby. I think my favorite thing that he does a few things that I really like. I didn't dislike him in the last movie, but this movie made me really like him. I like when Rey is just in tears. And he's like, just say. He's like, why did you hate your father? And acts like he's surprised by the question. He's just, I didn't. And I just love it. That was such a great read on that line. And just made the character so much more interesting and complex. And then they have that massive fight, the best fight we've ever seen in Star Wars.
Oh my!
And those two clearly trained because you don't get those weird cutaways where it's just clearly a stunt guy because you can't see the face. They're like, we're gonna have your face in every shot.
They're fighting the members of the Praetorian Guard,
and it's not that weird Phantom Menace thing where they're just digitally putting on their faces. Those two trained, and it shows.
We talked about that. That set was amazing.
I loved, the red, just that deep red. Just have that be the whole thing. That was so cool looking.
But when they set fire to it, and it's actually just it's another part of the spaceship, and
man,
you got the fight going on in the background, and just
that fight was nuts. We've never seen a fight that good in Star Wars.
What was your initial reaction when you saw Kylo Ren turning the Skywalker lightsaber to kill Snoke?
I mean, once he started to turn it, you knew it was coming. I love how,
But when he did it, and then they, joined forces, essentially, on the Praetorian Guard, what was, and be honest, what was your reaction? Well, I don't know what to think.
No, my reaction was, kick their ass. Kill him.
Hell, they did.
There was some great, I love that last kill in there.
Oh, he just Force.
Where he just grabs the
moves
lightsaber, turns it on, turns it off just through the face. No, my character was like, kick their ass, come to the light, buddy.
I thought he was
all is
too.
forgiven.
They had me hooked on Luke actually turning.
I never believed that.
A little bit. But then, I mean, we obviously got the full story of Luke and why Kylo Ren happened. And, like, it was kind of neat that, like, Luke's big thing about the Jedi religion is all about men of hubris. And that they thought they were bigger and they could control the Force and that nobody can control.
Like, I love those idiots in a semicircle were just idiots.
I love that he boiled down, like, years of Jedi training to, like, 3 lessons. That's it.
You know what I didn't like? My biggest question? Why are Kylo Ren's pants so high? Why does he have mom jeans?
You know what I love? That was kind of a shout out to the SNL skit, Starkiller Base Undercover Boss. He's like, I heard Kylo Ren is shredded. He's got an 8-pack. Man is shredded.
Yeah.
He had an 8-pack.
Like, you couldn't tell because the pants went over his abs. He had such high pants.
I like to think that's still because he has that wound from getting shot. He's hiding the scar from when Chewbacca should have killed him.
Could be. You know, actually, I saw this on Twitter, which it was like a 2-day thing. Someone managed to, like, you know, got a screen grab from someone who, like, was filming it or took a photo of it in the theater, and they texted it to Lin-Manuel Miranda, and they just wrote, sorry, wrong number. And then Lin tweeted out, he's like, this is hilarious, like, you can't escape Star Wars. And he got so much traction, the guy texted the next day, he goes, sorry, right number.
Correction. I thought one of the funnier moments was when Luke takes Rey up onto that meditation platform.
And he drinks milk from a gross boob, milk.
No, I'm going to ignore that.
I love that where he just looks and he's like, this is what I do now.
Yeah.
Drinking green milk from a giant boob.
And then stabbing giant fish with an ungodly spear.
I did like his fishing. He's a good fisherman.
I also love that they had the X-Wing, his X-Wing.
Yeah, where you saw that he's like, he ain't coming back.
Nope.
That thing is in the water. We've seen it in a swamp for like a couple days. Worked okay, I guess. But that thing's been there for a while.
Yeah, he had no intention of ever leaving that island. But what I liked was when he's talking his first lesson of the Force with Rey, like, reach out and feel, and he has that little, like, the feather the grass reed.
Yeah.
She's like, I feel something, he slaps her with it. That was total Yoda.
Yeah.
Total Yoda.
Hey, guess what? We got another weird Force cave.
Yes, we do.
Didn't make any sense to me.
Just like the tree.
Yeah.
From Empire.
When I was a kid, that scene happened. I must have been like maybe my first time watching it, maybe my second. And I was really confused. I go to my dad. I'm like, so what just happened? He's like, oh, the face inside of Vader was Luke's face. Like, I didn't recognize it as Mark Hamill. So I go, oh, okay. So what just happened? And it was kind of like, I kind of had that same feeling again. Like, what? Why are we snapping in the mirror? I'm not high enough for this scene.
The more you look into it, though, the more it does lend credence. Like, she's nobody. She's looking to find out, like, she's looking into it to see something about herself, and all that she ever sees is her. That's all she has. That's all she's...
God, self-obsessed lady. I guess I already talked about the high pants. I can cross that off.
You can cross off high pants. I love some of the comedy with the caretakers of the Jedi Island and how Rey's always breaking stuff.
I guess there's some deleted scenes with them that are going to make it to the Blu-ray.
Oh, that's cool. I love that they were practical, too.
Yeah, there's a lot of practical. And then there's a few things that aren't, and it's this weird mesh. I just want to talk about like some of the best Luke moments because he just steals the movie for me. The opener, that was funny.
He just throws the lightsaber.
He's like, don't care. Goes inside his little hut.
Yep.
That was great. Because it's like, what's Luke going to say? How's he going to react? Lightsabers.
Yeah. But we did get some petulant child Luke.
Yeah, we did. He's still just that little whiner to the core.
And Yoda calls him on his shit again, which was awesome.
Yeah, Yoda's back, baby. And he's a puppet.
Yes.
Loved it. Loved Puppet Yoda.
Oh, I was totally right, by the way, about what I said about what was in the Millennium Falcon.
I don't remember what you said.
That Rey took the Jedi texts.
Oh, yeah. Yep, she did.
She took the Jedi texts. And that was also like Yoda's line of, Rey already has all the knowledge she needs. She has all the knowledge with her.
Yeah. Page turners, they are not. Yoda can also throw lightning. That's the first time we've seen a ghost do anything.
Yeah, not only did he throw lightning, he was really good with the Force. But that island is...
I love this little, like, when he stomps his feet. Like, that's my favorite Yoda, is, like, not prequel Yoda where he's all serious and all that crap. I love slightly crazy Yoda hitting R2 with his stick, going, mine! And just having him, like, throw lightning, like, it's just stomp his feet with joy.
I loved Puppet Yoda coming back instead of CG Yoda.
Yeah, we haven't seen that since episode 1.
Which was good because...
And then they got rid of it in the DVD.
Yeah, because Mark Hamill never had to deal with CG. He always had the Puppet Yoda. So I thought that was kind of nice and cyclical.
I love that he has no respect for the Jedi and the Force anymore, but he still addresses him as Master Yoda.
I don't think it's that he has no respect for the Jedi anymore. He just knows that the Jedi were a failed idea. But he is part of that system, and he wants to be the last of the system. Which then he totally at the end says, well, I guess I don't want to be, part of the system anymore.
I'm going back to it. Yeah, so I mean, favorite Mark Hamill moments. The scene with Yoda was great, and I love his shock at like the burning of the tree in the temple and all that crap. I think the best line that he delivers is very early on. I love like when Chewbacca breaks down the door. I'm like, Rey used the Force was my first reaction. That it's just Chewbacca. I love how annoyed that he is to see Chewie. He's like,
broke my door.
You're here. The Falcon's here. Then there's that pause and that consideration, and just with so much gravitas, where's Han?
That was really good.
I thought that was the best line of the movie. Like his delivery on that, I was like, oh god.
Because then because he knows.
Yeah, and you would have thought, because he was always able to like sense when his friends were in danger before, you would have thought that.
But he's also turned himself off from the Force.
Yeah, so I loved that line of delivery. I love it when he goes onto the Falcon, and he's been so annoyed at everything, but he can't help but be happy to see R2.
Yeah.
That's like the one kind of light moment you get. Where R2 then gets all grumpy. He's like, I'm never going back. And then R2 plays the General Kenobi.
Yeah. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're our only hope.
That was a low blow. Just great deliveries. Oh. And then his last scene, or I guess his second to last scene, but he goes to face down Kylo Ren. And I love that Kylo, he does the regular Star Wars thing. He's like, oh, are you here to bring me back to the light side? Just, no, that's not why I'm here. Also really dark that Leia was like, Luke, go kill that kid.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay. Punish him.
Also sad that the two of them are never going to get a scene together. I would have liked that. Leia and Kylo.
Yeah, that would have been a fun scene.
Yeah, I kind of felt like that was going to be coming up, but clearly cannot happen now.
No.
Yeah, let's talk about that last scene with Luke. I know we're jumping all over the place, but...
Well, there's just so much to chew on and comprehend.
I unfortunately saw ahead of time that he was going to die.
Yeah. He didn't die, he became one with the Force. There's a difference.
I love that he's kind of vain. That his self-projection is 10 years younger.
Oh, yeah.
He has a darker beard, got himself a little haircut.
Well, it's like if you make an avatar to be on the internet with, you want to... Listen, when you were on dating sites, did you put the worst picture of yourself up there or the best picture of yourself?
I curated yours. You know how I work.
Exactly. You don't show them the best polish that you have at the moment.
I'm making jokes. I'm writing jokes into your profiles. Yes. But boy, when he comes back, I was questioning, do they kill Leia earlier in the movie? There's two opportunities you could have had. You could have killed her when she gets sucked out into space. You could have had her just cut out Laura Dern from the movie, have her take that role entirely.
Which, by the way, that's the first time we've ever seen Leia use the Force.
That was weird. When she became... I now only refer to her as this one thing, and you have to do it in a sing-songy voice.
Space Leia?
Space Leia!
Space Leia!
Yeah, that was weird. Cool that she used the Force. Looked real weird.
Should have died.
Yeah.
Because you were in space.
But, man, you needed that scene with the two of them at the end. That was...
wonderful.
Probably my favorite scene. And I got glassy-eyed watching it because I knew that was going to be the last time we see the two of them. And I love Leia's line in there. I know what you're going to say. I changed my hair.
Yeah,
I love it.
Looks better this way.
And I love it when he just throws 3PO that little wink.
Yeah. Who
also had a great moment in the movie. I love that he just...
Well, that's because 3PO could also tell oh, you're really not here, Master Luke.
Yeah, I love that. I love that he knew.
Yeah.
Love it. And I love that C-3PO still has to tell you the odds. And then he just has to get that full sentence out. Don't tell us the odds. To 1. What up, mic drop.
Thank you, 3PO.
But Luke goes out and he gets...
shot by all the AT-ATs.
Gets to die a legend. And that's one of those, people will tell, he's, I'm not the legendary Luke Skywalker. I'm not just going to, sidle up to all this and end it. That's not the guy that I am. But he does this thing that's going to be, remembered in legend.
Oh, yeah.
The day that Luke Skywalker by himself stood up to the entire First Order and won.
Yeah, he pretty much won the day by himself. I love his whole demeanor in that. I thought for a moment, I was like, wow, we're going to get Luke actually fighting with a lightsaber again. But no.
Just dodging around a bit.
Too quick.
You said you liked it. I didn't like that weird backwards thing he does.
When he yeah.
Just leans at a 90-degree angle to dive under a lightsaber.
But that's the most strong we've ever seen Luke with the Force either.
Yeah, and it's cool that they're not afraid to do new things with the Force. What's the point of doing a movie if you're not innovating?
Yeah.
And I love that we get some innovation with what the Force can do. I totally never recognized those dice were in the Falcon. Side note, they've always been there.
They've always been there.
I've never noticed them.
That was cool. That was a great deep pull.
I had to go look for that. Like, I was like, what the hell were those? Also, $20 we see them in the Han Solo movie. Like, he throws, like, those are the dice that win him the Falcon or something.
Or
dumb like that.
$20 says that you can buy them anywhere soon.
Yeah, that too. And then he goes.
How epic was that shot of him, though? When, like, after, like, Kylo Ren runs him in half and he doesn't... Like, I thought for a moment, like, he was just going to hold his lightsaber up like Obi-Wan and
Yeah.
Like, and just become, like, the Force Ghost and then drop and then Kylo Ren loses his shit.
See you around, kid.
But I love that, like, Luke lets him, like, go through him a couple times and then you go and you cut to that scene where, like, the waves are crashing and the wind's blowing and he's floating above that. That was pretty friggin' metal.
I love how it ends. I mean, we get,
but we see it takes so much out of him in the Force.
Yeah, now Kylo Ren's killed Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, so...
I wouldn't say he killed...
I know, but it's just easier to say that. But we get the hero's journey is complete. It comes full circle. Luke's journey begins standing out on the dunes of Tatooine, looking at the twin sunset, and we get that John Williams music playing over him, and that's how he goes out.
It's the last thing he sees.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, and it really simultaneously also reminded me of a Western in that moment. Like, not only does he have, like, the last stand, he also partially gets to ride out into the sunset. So we kind of got like those two different tropes of a Western of, like, the hero doesn't get to see the wind, but there's the other version where you ride off.
Now, do you think you get any Force Ghost Luke in the last movie?
100%. 100%. I can't imagine them not. Do you get... we'll talk about that later. That's a follow-up I have.
Okay.
Snoke. What do you think of Snoke?
Well, he was there for a little bit. I think that it was... I don't know. That felt kind of empty. I wanted to know more about Snoke.
What's funny is I don't care now.
But I don't... Yeah.
I love that, like, there was all that... And it's not like it was something the filmmakers did. It was totally fan speculation. What is this? Like, we've been almost trained at this point to think that everything has to be something.
And this movie, breaks you of that.
It's just fine. Be like, no, some things can just be nothing.
The galaxy's pretty big. And
yeah.
Kind of makes you wish they did that with Jar Jar in the first place.
But you just don't see that kind of storytelling anymore, which I thought was... Yeah, the more I think about this movie, the more I like it.
What about the casino scene and the casino planet?
All stupid. Didn't like it.
That was one that felt... That whole scene and sequence felt most like the original trilogy. Like not the original, but the prequels.
Yeah, a lot of weird CG. Because, like, there's so much practical stuff. And then there's all these weird CG cows and races and...
The dog horse things.
Yeah. I didn't care for it. And it felt like it went on a little too long to be like, oh, there's things aren't just black and white. Like, there could be good and bad people on both sides.
What'd you think of the Maz Kanata stuff? They just kind of shoehorned her in real quick.
Yeah, there was just more of, hey, remember she's here, and eventually she'll tell us why she had Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. Maybe they won't. I don't know.
Yeah, by the way, was there, like, this movie didn't really answer a whole lot of questions from the first one. Mm-hmm. I don't think it answered any questions, to be honest. It just answered who his parents are, allegedly.
The thing I didn't understand, and I think I said this to you the other day, I didn't know what those ships were supposed to do on Crate. Like, they get that line, they rush whatever these new walkers are. They're not the AT-ATs, they're the AT whatever.
Yeah.
But they just rush at them in a line, and Finn goes for a suicide run. But they don't do anything to the ships. Like, the ships never fire, like, a laser. They never do anything. Are these just kamikaze ships?
I think they're more like probably mining ships.
Yeah, but so why are we rushing them?
It's what they got. Create a distraction.
It was nothing. Yeah, it was just weird to me. I was like, these ships aren't doing anything.
Also, why would the First Order shoot at them? They could just continue to shoot at the door.
Yeah, because those ships apparently did nothing. So I thought those were weird. But when Luke's lightsaber gets broken, that's interesting, I guess. Doesn't really matter. A lightsaber's a lightsaber.
Yeah, what did you think of Finn and Rose's side story?
I think as a whole, I didn't like it, and I thought it was weird that they knew, because this whole movie was a ticking clock, so they know each other for like 6 hours, and Rose was like, I love you. Like, it's been such a short period of time. Cool. Also, I thought she was dead.
Yeah, like all the events.
And then she wasn't.
All the events of this movie take place over like 2 weeks. Well, because how long has Rey been on that planet?
I only think like 2 days. I think they were like 2 nights, and that was it.
This really is probably like one of the first... Well, no. She's got to be there longer because all of a sudden, like, there's so much other stuff that had happened.
Yeah, but that stuff was playing in pretty close time. I mean, that ticking clock of, like, we only have 6 hours of fuel left, or whatever they said. I'm sure you could break the timeline down by whatever they said in the front. Maybe, like, 18 hours, I don't know.
Yeah, but it feels like there's been more stuff that... It doesn't feel like it picked up... Well, no, I guess it does kind of pick up where the last movie, like, immediately...
And there's nothing to say that these stories all happen within the same time frame.
Yeah.
You can have a sliding scale of time.
They all kind of merge together at the end, though.
Yeah. Laura Dern, we didn't even mention her. First, when she was there, I'm like, why do we need this character? Like, she's new, it seems unnecessary. Like, why is she on screen when Leia's not? But then she did the most badass thing anyone's ever done in Star Wars. I'm like, you won me over, Laura Dern.
I'm just going to turn this giant ship into the fleet and go to light speed.
It just cuts that stuff in half. When that happened, I was like, that is the greatest thing I've ever seen in Star Wars.
All while simultaneously the lightsaber is breaking apart.
Yeah.
I still feel like that there's more with that lightsaber. There's more to it than that. Like, that lightsaber was a character. Even though it's broken now.
And maybe that's the point. They're just getting rid of it.
Like,
nothing matters. I think kind of this movie is just nothing you think matters. And it's okay to fail.
Well, like Kylo Ren said a lot, just let the past die.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to kill the past.
Stop killing off all the main characters. The old guard is gone. Now it's like Chewie and the droids. And I guess Lando, if you want to bring him back.
Yeah. Did you think? I was hoping Lando was going to be the code breaker. Or even just a cameo of Lando at the casino, because that would be a place where he would be.
Yeah. Carrie Fisher's dog was there.
Oh, by the way, Captain Phasma, all this... You know who Captain Phasma is? This trilogy's Boba Fett.
Yeah, no, boy, she's useless.
Yeah.
I hope that she doesn't die and she comes back in the next movie just to be killed or almost killed again.
Pretty sure that Captain Phasma got incinerated.
Yeah, I still want that to happen because she could have died in the last one. She could have died in this one. I just want to see that.
No, I'm pretty sure she's dead.
Boy, that's a lot of stuff. Let's talk about the future. What's next?
Well, you know that we don't have Rey past episode 9.
Yeah, this is going to be a trilogy.
Yeah, so this has to wrap up and kind of set the ground for the future. I think, just going to spitball a couple ideas, I think Rey and Kylo don't make it out of the next movie.
Good. And we have to deal with the Knights of Ren. We haven't seen them yet. We know that Kylo Ren was like leader of this order of like dark Jedi. We haven't seen those guys at all. I think we got to at least see the Knights of Ren. Luke comes back as a Force ghost. And then how do you deal with the Leia?
I think this is if I'm in
they said they're not going to recreate her.
If I'm in creative shoes and I have to do it, I think the opening crawl is...
I think you kill her in the crawl.
You kill her in the crawl and you set up the first major encounter with the First Order sees the death of General Leia as a chance to strike.
I almost go the other way around, like, episode 9, the end of these movies for now, that's what I'm calling it.
Yes. I'm
sure they'll come up with a better title. Following the legendary sacrifice of Luke Skywalker and you could even say like a death of Princess Leia, maybe from the stress of losing Luke and Han and her son to the dark side and all that crap. Yeah. Just say like that got her or something. I don't know, but maybe open on like the funeral and between Luke and Leia's death, that is the rallying call that brings in everyone from the outer rim to fight against. And I don't know, maybe that's what you do.
I think, it does seem kind of a cop out to kill her in the crawl, but
what are you gonna do if they said that they're not gonna try and recreate her, or maybe? I kind of feel like they're not going to do this, but maybe you have like unused footage from Force Awakens and Last Jedi that you could repurpose. But I don't think they said they weren't recreating her, so I also assume it's going to probably go for that road as well. I don't know. I think you got to kill her in the crawl. This is just a guess.
Yeah.
Really sucks, but
I think it's one of those things that if they're upfront about it, and they have been, that they can write around it and they can use it with purpose.
And I mean, you can even have that death galvanize more the idea of Kylo Ren being conflicted. Like, he wasn't there for his mother in her final moments, and...
Oh, no, he's not conflicted anymore. He's pretty much entrenched.
I think he's still conflicted.
Yeah, I think that they're not going to play that. He just
wants to rule the universe.
Well, so did Anakin. So did Sidious. I mean...
Gets name dropped. That was weird.
Oh, yeah.
Haven't heard Luke say that name before.
Nope.
He's just been sucking down that green milk.
Well,
Porgs. We didn't talk about Porgs. They were fine. They didn't really contribute much. They're there to sell toys. They were cute. It's fine.
I love that Chewie was getting ready to eat a Porg and then couldn't.
I don't know why they cared at that point. He's already killed it and cooked it. What difference does eating it make?
I thought it was funny.
I thought it was funny too, but really, what difference does it make at that point? He's already been murdered and cooked.
Your Porg friend's sacrifice has now been a waste.
Not a lot of Chewie in this movie.
No.
I like that he does get to hug Leia in this one. Like, that was like, sorry we forgot to do
How
that last
awesome
time.
was it that, again, the Falcon comes swooping in to save the day?
That was one of my favorite moments. They really hate that ship.
They really do.
That was so good.
That piece of space junk. Again, it gets called a piece of junk again because Kylo Ren's like, blow that piece of junk out of the sky.
Yeah, what a good movie.
What do you think about everyone trying to like build up or drum up this romance between Kylo Ren and Rey?
I don't think it's going to happen.
No, but like everyone's like, oh, those are such like unsaid romantic kind of scenes. There's an attraction between the two.
I hate the shipping community.
Okay.
And that's all that is. It's just a bunch of shippers. I don't care for it. Not everyone needs to be connected somehow, and you don't need to come up with some dumb cutesy name that like mashes the two together. Stupid. I don't care for it.
The number of like YouTube videos that popped up like Rey and Kylo with like music behind it, like
yeah, no, that's crap. I don't care for shipping or shippers in general.
all right,
I'm sure we have some listeners that do care for those things. I don't.
have at it. I mean, do you. You like what you like.
Yeah, so my answer is I don't care. I don't think it's a thing. I don't think that's what they were going for.
Fair.
Yeah.
So how does it all? How do you see it all tying up? How do you see it all ending? Because Luke did finally say that he was not going to be the last of the Jedi. He was like dead set against having the Jedi ever continue, but yet he tells Kylo Ren, "Oh, guess what? You think I'm the last of the Jedi? Well, you're wrong."
The thing is, I don't know anymore, and that's exciting.
I think you're going to see the kids, the Force-sensitive kids, maybe play a role.
Because
although being a Force-sensitive youngling hasn't really turned out well for a lot of kids in this universe.
no, they already got rid of the murder weapon. That was destroyed.
Yeah.
You know what? It's exciting because I don't know. I'm sure they win. Is it going to be the way it was before? No. Or maybe it will be because J.J. Abrams is a different filmmaker. I don't know. What's funny is I was fine with J.J. coming on board before, but after seeing this movie, I'm like, do I necessarily want J.J. back?
I think J.J. will be fine.
Well, I mean, look at what he did with Star Trek. The first one's a lot of fun. Then he came back for a second one and just rehashed something and made it worse.
He's really good at rebooting.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm a little hesitant now because this movie was so damn good. Like the ending, it doesn't give me that same kind of hook, but there's enough to build on there that I like.
They still have a lot to do. I mean, there's still things that you wonder about. Like, okay, so most of the Resistance is on the Millennium Falcon, so there's that.
Well, they said there's more on the Outer Rim.
Yeah, but like the main components of the Resistance are on the Millennium Falcon.
I also like how they dealt with it. Poe and Rey never actually had a scene together. Took 2 whole movies. Like, hey.
Oh, you're Rey.
See you over there.
How about when she's moving the rocks? You know, it looks like the Force is more than just moving rocks.
And then that's kind of all it is.
Yeah.
I say there's a time jump, like maybe 5 years.
Yeah, the Resistance is kind of...
And you can fill in those 5 years in the opening crawl. But I don't know. I really don't know where it's going. And I like that. What a nice, refreshing feeling.
Yes.
Yeah, my review still stands. See it in theaters.
Absolutely. This movie...
Then buy it on Blu-ray.
Yes.
Or on digital. I don't really care.
I'm going to buy it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, maybe me too. I prefer physical media.
Mm.
Just because of like an extra sense of ownership.
Yeah, and if you
I'm slightly more invested when I'm watching a thing.
Or if you like ever lose it, or like if you ever lose like the device that you have it on digitally.
Yeah. From there, I guess letters
to the editors.
Yeah.
Now for my favorite part of the show. What'd I say? Talk to the audience. Oh God, this is always dead.
Here's another one of your letters to the editors.
Here's a pertinent one.
Yes.
What will Disney buy next, or what do you think Disney will buy next?
Nothing.
I kind of feel that way too.
What's left to be bought?
They just spent $52 billion.
Yeah, I mean, what else do you think they could buy, or they would buy that would make sense in the realm of like entertainment? Maybe, I mean, they were part owners of the Los Angeles the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. They owned that team for a while, the Anaheim Ducks.
I think if they tried,
they might dip back into like that, maybe. But I think that they've got so much property now and so much on their hands. What is left for them to buy?
They could try and buy back the Hulk solo rights because Universal still owns that. Universal also owns the movie rights to Namor, the Submariner. Maybe they try and buy those. But beyond that, I mean, maybe they buy out the rest of Hulu to just have one consolidated streaming service.
Or they just use what they have with Hulu. And
I don't know why you would, though, because if you have people buying 2 streaming services and you're getting the money from 2 different services, why would you shut down one of them?
Yeah, that's a good point.
If they own a controlling interest in it, they're going to get the majority of the money. I don't think, so I don't even believe the thing I just said.
You keep both of them open, but you filter certain things to Hulu, and you keep the majority of your stuff on your over-the-top service.
And like maybe that becomes more like your Fox Searchlight, where that's where you find your indie stuff or whatever. Maybe they just try to hit a different niche with that market. Because, I mean, Fox had multiple, hats they were juggling. They were hitting different markets with what they owned. Maybe Disney does something similar.
I think so.
My short answer is I don't think anything for a while.
No, I think they're pretty well.
And when you drop $52 billion.
I've never done that.
And also, I think that if this even is able to legally go through, they're only going to be able to go so far before the government has to step in with antitrust laws.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty close to monopoly.
They just knocked out 1/6 of the competition.
I think the only thing left for them, maybe they might dive into some they own ILM, so everyone's got to go through them for a lot of they own ILM, Pixar.
Yeah, they already own Pixar.
So they've already got those things. I don't know. I don't think there's anything for them to buy in the immediate future.
No, I can't imagine. I mean, there was a couple of years in between buying Pixar and Star Wars and Marvel. Those were all a few years apart.
The only thing I might see them like...
And those were like I don't remember how much Pixar cost, but if you're dropping $4 billion, $52 billion. There's even a 0.4 in there. I haven't even bothered mentioning because you're at $52 billion already.
That's more than $52 billion. The only thing I could see them maybe getting into is like owning like cinema, like a Disney cinemas, and like that way they have more control over the distribution, and then they can really kind of control that piece. So it's almost like
it's already hard enough to get into theaters. That's a realm where I feel like competition might be more detrimental. You need to come up with new ways for people to enjoy movies. Like the theater we go to now, like they upped those seats, or that one that's a little ways over where you get to have dinner.
But no,
you have like those 40X.
Hear my idea. Okay. This is $1 million idea. I'm probably giving it away. But if you're Disney, have like Disney cinemas where you have first run movies, but you also go back and you can have classic showings. So you can go back and see some of those movies on the big screen from a long time ago. Like, wouldn't you like to see Lion King on the big screen again?
Theaters do that all the time, though.
Yeah, but now you're Disney. You own it. You can do it whatever you want. And you can stream. You can have the access to that with the digital projection. Just a thought. Although I am kind of excited for the live action Lion King, but that's totally different.
Yeah, Favreau's doing that. He did the Jungle Book one too, and I wasn't that big on that one.
No, but he said as I saw an interview, he said once they've taken the lessons from Jungle Book and now they know how to do it, they're really going to be able to do it well with Lion King.
I mean, you know what? Bill Murray was Baloo, so I'll take that.
Fair and reasonable.
Like, I accept that bear.
The bare necessities.
Boy, that's a song that gets stuck in your head for 20 years
at a time.
I love
that song. Oh, anyway, this is the last show before Christmas.
Yeah, we'll be back for one more holiday episode. One more.
It's been a year in the making.
We had to give a grace period of being able to make fun of Carrie Fisher. We're not going to just make fun of her.
Oh, no, there's plenty to make fun of. Do you have any big Life Day plans?
I guess watching that movie. By the way, watch that for next week. I've never done it either. I've clicked around and I've watched in bits and pieces.
Can we do it together?
I guess if you want.
I mean, I don't want to suffer alone.
Sure.
Okay. But between now and Christmas, 25% off in the store. What are you're going to be open through Saturday?
That's just going to be regular hours.
Regular hours up to Saturday.
I mean, Christmas Eve is Sunday. I'm closed on Sunday. Or is it Christmas Day? Is that it?
Christmas Day is on Monday.
Okay, so I guess it's really through the 23rd. I said the 24th on my head.
Oh, well.
I just had my days mixed up. Look, I'm not open on Sundays, so it doesn't really affect that. And then Monday, I guess I'm closed.
Okay, yeah, well, it's against the law to be open.
No, it's not.
Oh, no, not for you because you're under a certain square footage.
For me, it's not against the law.
Nobody's going to go to your store on Christmas.
No, and I'm not going to be there either, so yeah.
It's how convenient.
Yeah, so Tuesday will be regular again.
So for between now and
Saturday,
the 23rd, 25% off everything, or just
excluding new releases, and if you have stuff that was ordered with a pre-established price.
Did you?
Well, just because people have tried to see oh, I waited to pick up my pull list, and now it's all on sale. If you have agreed to a pre-established sale price, you're not getting it.
Speaking of which, have you put any more thought to my idea of buying a year in advance?
No one's done it yet. People have bought some gift cards.
Yeah, but you should. I'm thinking you should flush this idea out so New Year's comes around, you can roll that program out. Buy a year of comics for this price.
What do I like doing? Those pre-oil sale prices. Maybe you're saving money, maybe you're not.
Yeah, lock in your comic book rate for the year or for 6 months. Think about it.
If you want to get things about the show, editorsnotecomics.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. On the internet, if you could rate, review, subscribe on iTunes and other podcasting platforms. I mostly care about iTunes. I don't really care about the rest. But we're there.
We are. We're not on Spotify.
No. I don't know. I haven't looked. I don't know. I feel like that one has more of an approval process.
I approve of us.
Oh, goody. And if you want to get the show a whole day early every single week, patreon.com/editorsnotecomics, $1 a month or more, but no less. And you're on Twitter.
@JuniorRich. Have a very Merry Christmas, Zach. I hope that you get everything that you deserve.
Oh, the dog's taking out. Oh, he's taking out the foam. He's taking out the sound equipment.
Not the high quality foam.
Dear God. Hey, that cost me money.
What was the number one item on your Christmas list?
I already know what I'm getting, so that's fine.
I know what I'm getting too. So what's the exciting gift? What's the big thing
I guess
you're
we'll find out next week.
What, you're not going to tell everyone what the big gift is you're getting it?
No.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you afterwards what my big gift is. I'm excited.
Mind their own damn business.
Oh, wow. That's very Scrooge-ish of you.
What day is it, boy? We'll be back for Life Day.
Sweet, smart, gentle boy. Go to the poulterer Get the price right. Which also, like, I watched that last night because it was on. Actually, I watched The Christmas Carol twice last night. I watched the Patrick Stewart version and then the 1984 George C. Scott version, which, by the way, the 1984 George C. Scott version, far superior. And I love Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, that was made for TV, wasn't it? The Patrick Stewart one?
Yes, Hallmark Channel.
Yeah, we'll be back next week. It's Life Day time.